the strategic reliance on nuclear weapons. More than 15 years after the end of the Cold War, it is absolutely baffling to many that the major nuclear weapon states continue to maintain their nuclear arsenal at a hair trigger alert. So in case of a reported possible nuclear missile, the leaders of these countries will only have 30 minutes to decide whether to retaliate by a nuclear attack, and with that risk the destruction of entire civilizations. These are 3 steps that we can readily take: protect the nuclear material and control the verification system, control the production of weapon-usable nuclear material, and accelerate the disarmament efforts. But that's not enough, in my view. The hard part is how to create the environment in which all of us would look at nuclear weapons the way we look to slavery, genocide, a taboo and historical anomaly. Ladies and gentlemen, whether we believe in evolution, intelligent design, divine creation, one thing is certain: since the recorded history, we have been at war with each other, under the pretext of religion, ideology, ethnicity, and other reasons. And no civilization has ever willingly given up its most powerful weapons. We seem to agree that we can share modern technology, but we do not acknowledge that our values, at their very essence, are shared values. I'm an Egyptian, Muslim, educated in Cairo and New York. I live now in Vienna. My wife and I have spent half our life in the north, half in the south, and we experience firsthand the unique nature of this human family and the common values we all share. I think Shakespeare expressed best this unique nature of every single member of the human family in The Merchant of Venice, when he asks, "If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge?" And lest we forget, there is no religion that is founded on intolerance, and no religion that does not value the sanctity of human life. Judaism values the beauty and joy of human existence. Christianity asks us to treat our neighbors the way we would like to be treated. Islam declares that killing one soul unjustly is the equivalent of the killing of the entire humanity. Hinduism recognizes the entire universe as one family. Buddhism cherishes the oneness of all creation. Some will say this is idealistic to believe in a society that is based on tolerance and the sanctity of human life, where borders, nationalities, ideologies are of marginal importance. To those I say, this is not idealism. This is, in fact, realism. Because history has taught us that wars rarely resolve our differences. Force does not heal old wounds. It opens new ones. Ladies and gentlemen, I talked about our effort to combat the misuse of nuclear energy. Let me, for a moment, say how this same very energy helps humankind in many different ways. At the IAEA, we work daily on every continent to put nuclear energy at the service of humankind. In Vietnam, farmers are planting new rice quality strands with more nutritional values with the assistance of the IAEA. In Latin America, nuclear techniques are used to map underground water to make sure that we have a sustainable water resources available to us. In Ghana, when I recently visited, new radiotherapy machine provided by the IAEA is helping thousands and thousands of people to be treated from cancer. In the South Pacific, Japanese scientists are hard at work using radioisotope techniques to understand the climate change phenomena that's threatening our environment. In India, 8 new power reactors are under construction to provide clean electricity to this growing nation, a case in point for the growing expectation of a surge in the use of nuclear energy worldwide. These and other 1,000 projects exemplify the IA ideals, atoms for peace. With nuclear expansion, though, it is crucial that we make sure that nuclear energy is used at the highest level of safety and security. Since Chernobyl in 1986, we have been hard at work all over the globe to make sure that nuclear safety is maintained at the highest level. And since 9/11, we have been working with even greater intensity to make sure that nuclear security is everywhere. In both fronts, we built interrelated network of legal norms, performance standards, but maybe our best tangible results are on the ground, where hundreds and hundreds of missions with international experts are being dispatched every part of the world to make sure that nuclear facilities, nuclear materials are safe and secure. I'm very proud of the 2,300 hardworking men and women who work for the IAEA. These are the IAEA staff, my colleagues, with whom I share this honor. Some are with me here today. We come from 90 countries. We bring different perspectives to our work, but our diversity is our strength. We have a very limited authority, a modest budget, and no armies. But armed with the strength of our conviction, we will continue to speak truth to power, and will continue to carry our mandate with independence and objectivity. The Nobel Peace Prize is a powerful message for the IAEA and myself. The message is endure, continue your work for peace, security, and development. Durable peace is not a single achievement. It's an environment, it's a process, and above all, it's a commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, the picture I painted today may sound somewhat grim. Let me conclude by saying why I have hope. I have hope because globalization is enabling nations and people to be politically, economically, and socially interdependent, and making war more and more unacceptable as a way to resolve our differences. If I look to the 25 members of the European Union, the prospect of them using force to settle their differences is almost absurd. The same is emerging with regard to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, with 55 member nations from Europe, Central Asia, and North America. I ask myself, could these models be expanded to be a world model through the same creative multilateral cooperation, where the strong are just and the weak secure? I have hope because civil society is now better informed and more engaged. They are pressing their government for change, to create democratic societies based on diversity, tolerance, and equality. They are proposing solutions, raising awareness, donating funds, transforming the civic spirit from the local to the global. In short, trying to bring the human family together. We have now, I believe, an opportunity more than any time in the past to give an affirmative answer to one of the oldest questions of our time. Am I my brother's keeper? What is required is a mindset, a new mindset, a change of heart. So at the end of the day, we can look across the ocean and see the person there as our neighbor. Finally, I have hope because what I see in my children and many of their generation. I took my first trip abroad at the age of 19. My children were much more fortunate than I. They took their first trip abroad as infants, and they grew up in a multicultural environment. And I tell you absolutely that they are totally oblivious to color, race, or nationality. To them, their friends, Noriko, Mafupu, Justin, Hussam, or Saulo are simply fellow human beings and good friends. Globalization through travel, media, communication can help us to achieve what my son and daughter and their generation have achieved. See each other simply as human beings. Your Majesties, Your Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, imagine what would happen if the nation of the world spent as much on development as on the machines of war. Imagine what would happen if every human being would be able to live in freedom and dignity. Imagine a world when we shed the same tears when a child dies in Darfur or in Vancouver. Imagine a world when we settle our differences through dialogue and diplomacy and not through bombs and bullets. Imagine that the only nuclear weapons remaining are the relics in our museums. Imagine the legacy we could leave to our children. Imagine that such a world is actually within our grasp. Thank you very much. Tusen tack.
Mohammed ElBaradei ending his speech there with a thank you in Norwegian, Tusen tack. An incredibly enlightening and powerful speech, I'm sure you will all agree.